As we've now entered into episode 3 and a full week has passed for year 1 pass holders, I've had enough time with the new weaponry to make a fair evaluation. In particular, the Chameleon exotic assault rifle has been on everyone's radar, and I've got to say, I'm just not a big fan of this weapon. What's going on, agents? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and I know that after making a statement like that, you're going to expect some evidence. And throughout this video, I will make my case for why this weapon doesn't match up against its predecessor, the Eaglebearer. Now don't get me wrong, I am not saying that the Chameleon is a bad weapon, because that's not the case. But it does have some pretty big hurdles that players will have to overcome if they want to squeeze as much potential as possible out of this weapon. For my comparisons, I am using the Chameleon with a base damage of 11,044, which is only 413 hit points away from being a maximum damage rolled weapon. In addition, I'm using the better part of my AR headshot build with around 84% headshot damage, 62.5% weapon damage, and a sprinkling of crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and 57% damage to elites. Now for my video, the stats on my build weren't really important, but rather that I used the exact same build while testing both the Eaglebearer and Chameleon in this side-by-side comparison. First up, and as I started using the Chameleon, I noticed that it wasn't reaching out and damaging targets at medium to medium long range distances as most other assault rifles are capable of doing. So I took them both over to the range and it confirmed my suspicions. Using the same build for both, the Chameleon was touching body shots without crits of 23,150 for 5 and 10 meters, but then started losing damage at a rate of 1.2% from there. At 15 meters, it was at 22,890. At 20 meters, 22,248 and a 4% damage to distance drop-off. At 25 meters, it was down to 21,547 and a 7% damage to distance drop-off. Now just for testing's sake, I tried it at 35 meters, which netted 19,927, and both 45 and 50 meters were at 18,809. Now for practical usage, anything past 25 meters, while possible, is not ideal. So just looking at the raw base damage to distance drop-off for the Chameleon, it fell from 23,150 to 21,547 over the 25 meter distance, and that is significant when I now give you the numbers for the Eaglebearer over those same distances. For 5 meters, the Eaglebearer was hitting body shots without crit for 30,622, and it held that damage total all the way out to 35 meters. Now just for the test, I also experimented with 45 meters, which netted body shots of 27,114, and 50 meters for 25,423. Now once you hit the 50 meter maximum testing threshold, the 19% Chameleon damage to distance drop-off versus the 17% for the Eaglebearer looks close, but in reality, it is 25 to 30 meters inwards where assault rifles truly shine, and this test confirms my suspicions that the Eaglebearer still can reach out further and with more damage than the Chameleon. Now I know this doesn't factor in multipliers like the damage gained through the adaptive instincts or Eagle Strike weapon talents, but for what I mostly use an assault rifle for, which is precision automatic fire from medium to longer ranges, the Eaglebearer is my choice in this category. Next up, and another crucial shortcoming of the Chameleon, is accuracy, and this is noticeable the very first moment you fire this weapon full auto. Now I tend not to use accuracy mods or gear specifically for additional accuracy, because I lean towards more damage mods like optics for additional damage to elites. However, on my current build, and in terms of accuracy, I have 10% for the Araldi gear pieces, 5% for the Douglas and Harding, and 15% additional accuracy for the Chameleon optics. Now this gives me 30% when all stacked together, and even then, the Chameleon bloom when firing full auto is strong, and the pattern is all over the place. Now some of this is my aim, but just watch as I zoom in on the target and slow down the footage so you can see just how wild the Chameleon is. Just take a look at your screen. Here is 5 meters standing. "10 meters standing." 15 meters standing, and finally 20 meters standing. Now for comparison, here is the Eagle Bearer, with only 15% accuracy gained from the Araldi and Douglas & Harding gear, as it does not feature an accuracy optic like the Chameleon. Instead, the Eagle Bearer is equipped with a stability grip for 10% additional stability, which will not tighten the full auto bloom, but will rather make vertical recoil a little more manageable. So here are the tests. First at 5 meters standing. (10 meters standing). (15 meters standing). And finally, 20 meters standing. Now what you are watching for is how close the white impact mark is to the dead center with your crosshairs. Because if they are not lining up and the bullets are striking off true center, the weapon is less accurate versus a weapon that hits closer to the dead center of the reticle. Now I understand that the Eagle Bearer features an accuracy perk as part of the Eagle Strike that increases your accuracy as you continually fire up to 100%, but even before that perk starts to build, the Eagle Bearer is a more accurate weapon. Just looking back on the footage side by side at a modest 10 meters, just look at how much the Chameleon, showing on the left side of your screen, varies around from dead center versus the Eagle Bearer, showing on your right. You see slight jumps in the reticle, which are from me attempting to adjust the recoil and aim of the weapon. But in general, the Eagle Bearer stays fairly true to target, while the Chameleon looks to hit everywhere except the dead center of the reticle. One advantage that I will give the Chameleon in this category of weapon handling is stability, as it is an easier weapon to manage vertical recoil and keep my crosshairs mostly on target. The Chameleon by far is one of the easiest full auto weapons to manage recoil, and it is here that it does best the Eagle Bearer. In another category of weapon handling and in terms of reload speeds, there is no comparison, as the Eagle Bearer gains 100% reload speed for 10 seconds after achieving a headshot kill, while the Chameleon must first build up 30 leg shots to obtain its 150% reload speed bonus, which lasts for 45 seconds. Now we've all been trained through shooter games to aim for the head, as that is the area of the target that rewards you with the largest damage gains. So it is hard for me to purposely aim for a target's legs or feet just to earn the reload speed bonus the Chameleon so desperately needs. So within this second comparison category of accuracy and reload speeds, I again choose the Eagle Bearer over the Chameleon, although the stability of the Chameleon should not be overlooked, as it is an easy recoil pattern to control. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, Buzz, we get it. But how about the Chameleon's damage? That 100% bonus damage looks super sexy, right? Hey, I've got to admit, I really thought that once the Chameleon hit the 100% damage stacks, it would be like setting off a small nuke. But I was wrong. Here, let me show you. Here is the Chameleon in super slow motion. And as we start to hit the target, you can see that our average damage strike is 29,583. And FYI, these damage numbers are different than the damage to distance comparison numbers because I have adjusted this target to a named elite, and therefore all of our damage to elites is factoring into these damage numbers. So anyways, we are striking this target for anywhere between 29,583 up to 39,346, and these are for body shots, because we want to first hit the body shots and build that stack, as it takes 60 of these to proc the 100% damage modifier for 45 seconds. After we achieve this damage stack, we can then aim for the head and attempt to build the crit bonus stack along with the headshot damage modifiers we already have on this build. Now, since the Chameleon only holds 50 rounds plus one in the chamber, we will need to reload partway through this attempt to build the 100% damage buff before getting it to proc and then moving next to the headshots. Once the 100% damage buff procs, the Chameleon starts hitting the named elite target for anywhere between 47,789 up to 63,560. Once we've achieved the necessary 60 body shots to proc the 100% extra damage buff, we then move up to the headshots to take advantage of the Chameleon crit bonuses for landing 30 headshots, the baked-in assault rifle headshot bonus, the headshot bonuses I have on this build, and the perfect concussion gear talent as well. As we are building the 30 headshot stack, the Chameleon is ranging from 87,933 up to 113,262 with critical strikes up to 139,151. Once I have built up the headshot critical hit chance and critical hit damage buffs, the Chameleon starts hitting for 97,491 up to 137,157 on a regular basis, with critical strikes topping out at 168,507. So in simple math terms, once we've achieved the necessary 60 body shots to proc the 100% damage modifier, our headshots are doing 54% more damage than body shots. Once the 30 headshots have been landed and the additional headshot bonuses proc, our adjusted headshot damage numbers gain an additional 21% damage over that of before the proc. Now, all in, with the 100% damage buff, headshot bonuses, and gear talents like perfect concussion, the Chameleon gains on average 329% damage over that of landing body shots before the 100% damage buff procs, and that is huge. But it takes time to build up and requires attention to the hexagons on the right side of the weapon to properly manage the buffs. Okay, for comparison, let me now show you the Eagle Bear. Since I don't need to build up stacks by aiming for the body, I can immediately aim for the head, and the moment perfect concussion procs, my Eagle Bear is landing headshots between 73,959 up to 100,568 with a high crit figure of 123,557. Once Eagle's strike procs for killing the target with a headshot, the Eagle Bearer jumps up to damage figures of 106,950 to a high of 131,513 with a crit high of 161,574. Now you can look at the weapon lore text all you want, but the on-screen math is there for you to study. Despite having a rate of fire of 150 rounds less than that of the Chameleon and a damage buff that states you gain 50% versus the 100% for the Chameleon, the Eagle Bearer, once up on maximum damage output, can keep pace right in line with that of the Chameleon. So in conclusion, I am not here to trash the Chameleon, as it does have a place in the game, just not in the role that many of you think it should be. You, like me, probably look at the weapon type and think, assault rifle. Okay, it should be decent at medium to slightly longer ranges, and I'm going to use this weapon in that traditional role. And that's where you get it wrong. The Chameleon is not a precision death beam like the Eagle Bear, which I've shown you over the course of this test. It is a brawler weapon that is meant to be used up close and living on the edge. Now, I will give the Chameleon its props. When paired with the new shield skill and you are up on the 100% damage stacks, the Chameleon can be a blunt object of destruction for a very short period of time. But for me and the way that I play using an assault rifle, the Eagle Bearer is still my weapon of choice. It reaches further distances with less damage drop-off, has more accuracy, much shorter reload times, and has just as much maximum damage as the Chameleon without the need to put myself into harm's way by staying within 10 meters of heroic level NPCs. Now, I will admit that I do not PvP in the Division 2 and spent absolutely zero time in either skirmish or the dark zones testing out this weapon, and who knows, for the PvP crowd, you may really love this weapon. But for now, I will stick with the Eagle Bearer for my stated reasons when it comes to which of these two exotic assault rifles to choose from. On a quick side note as I wrap up this comparison video, if in the future the Chameleon accuracy could be bumped up a notch or two, or maybe the reload times adjusted down, or maybe just receives a reload speed bonus without being forced to shoot the legs of my targets, it would make this a much harder decision of which weapon to choose. But for now, I am totally on board with the Eagle Bear and will stash my Chameleon until a future update. I think this is a good place to end this video, and I look forward to reading your thoughts about this comparison in the video description below. Which do you prefer, the Eagle Bear or Chameleon, and why? If you are not yet a sub, please take the time to smash that sub button and click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from my YouTube channel. If you like this content, please rate it with a thumbs up, if not, a thumbs down. If you feel like supporting me and my Division 2 content, check in the video description for links to my Teespring merchandise store and Patreon page. If you want to follow me on Twitter, here is my ID, and I comment on most things gaming related with a heavy emphasis on the Division franchises. Until my next upload, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.